I am Sally Jo Michelson Cooper. This is an artist accounts video, just a general channel update for February 2021. I have been working on building some redundancy up on various video platforms. My primary video platform at this time is YouTube, but I don't want it to be my only one. I've had some redundancy on BitChute for a while, and I've been building up some more on Instagram. It's kind of a different audience, a different reach in the algorithm, and I'm debating between Rumble and Gab and Locals and some of the other social media platforms. I'm kind of considering myself in a period of time that I'm blocking out for building up my digital footprint. When I was working on the Phoenix series, and when I'm working on any series, I'm not going to work on that type of work. And I think that works well for me, and I think working in sets of 4 is working really well for me. I've got some really preliminary sketches about a set of 4 that I would like to do this spring sometime. And besides one-offs, cartoons, or collaborative works, for now, for me, I think about 8 core pieces a year is suiting me really, really well. And I have a lot of backlog administrative type things, and I've always wanted to get them done, and I've not made it a priority properly, and now I'm in a phase where that's strictly what I'm working on. Everything that's part of what I consider to be my core works is going to be available in a print-on-demand product, both as stickers and just prints. And so that's stuff I have on Redbubble and Designed by Humans. Some of it's there. I need to get a lot more of it there. I decided to be done with Zazzle this year, even though Zazzle was where I had the most content. There's just a lot of user interface problems with Zazzle, and also they put out a note saying they were just generally against humor and free speech, and that's enough for me to just get done. Corporate censorship is not what I want from any platforms I'm working with at all. So it would have been one thing if they just quietly didn't want it, but to just outright, yep, for sure, we don't want that. And anyway, and as far as what I'm doing for 2020, I've had some input from, it's very strange to think of other people on YouTube as colleagues, but I've kind of come to, I've had some input from some other YouTubers that I should do more vlog-like things. So I'm kind of, the artist accounts always had space for that, so I'm trying to add in some of that. So I thought I would put in some of my mad rambling plan charts in this video. So this was the completion of the Phoenix series. This is them all together. Still waiting to get them photoed. Things that I've been thinking of, probably kind of end of last year into this year. I'm working on figuring out my systems over goals. That's Scott Adams' idea, which I don't know if he came up with it or if he's just popularizing it like mad. I'm really trying to take on a thing that I'm calling self-optimizing. With that, I want to be doing about 80% keto. I'm not succeeding so far. I really struggle with really healthy eating. I always have. I like sweets. And giving up sweets has led to huge health benefits. Sticking with giving up sweets to maintain those health benefits has always been up and down for me. The biggest development for me with getting to where I eat healthy was just to keep doing it even though you were failing. Which maybe sounds nuts, but I used to just give up even when I'm failing, and now I'm just embracing the doing it poorly thing, and I do seem to be keep doing it a little bit better I very much like Matt DeLauer and his keto stuff because he goes into all of the whys. So if you were really interested in the microbes in your yogurt and which ones will make you the happiest, or which types of fats will really, get you your full bang, I've really liked Matt DeLauer and Keto Camp, and I watch them pretty frequently just to get me into it, which it's really funny. The mind thing is more important um, than any of it, probably. So that's one way I'm trying to self optimize. I wrote out kind of a list of pinpoints. I'm trying to stay out of negative thinking spirals. If I catch myself thinking about something that is not useful, like, what if 10 years ago I would have done this and this and this, and then just spiraling on about it, or what if so and so wasn't a dirt basket? I'm trying to, if I catch myself in a loop, which once you start trying to, you start succeeding more. If I catch myself in a loop and I don't know if it's serving me or not, I can just take a step and think to myself, is this useful to me? And if it's not useful to me, I'm trying to let it go. Um, Besides that, being mindful of my habits, especially when it comes to cleanliness. I never was a full hoarder, I don't think, in my adult life, but hoarding and just keeping too much stuff and having terrible, terrible things management strategies and is something that I'm really working on, and I don't want to pass on any amounts of hoarding as my kids grow up, and I don't want I just don't want to struggle with it my whole life. So that's something I'm working on. Um, yeah, part of the figuring out how to manage my stuff better. One interesting convergence for me between art and cleanliness and self-management and things is, so I started early 2020. I started sending out some work to people I wanted them to have it. Now that's obviously a different strategy than trying to find galleries and trying to sell it and trying to set price points and trying to decide if you want to deal with shipping and I was trying to be in coffee shops, I was trying to be in little shops, I was trying to be in galleries, and I hated it and it was miserable. And then I went through a spell where I tried to make pinback buttons of my work. And I kind of liked it. I liked having the availability of it, but I really hate tabling. I don't like sitting at a table. I like talking to people about individual pieces, and that would happen maybe 1 out of 5 people. Um, but if you only see 7 or 8, and so I really don't want a table. I don't want to sell pinback buttons. So really, I have decided optimally as far as sales go, I want to do print on demand. I don't I when if somebody wants one of my pieces because they really connect with it psychologically, I want them to be able to click order in that moment and get it shipped to them in expedient fashion. And if that means I can only get a small royalty as opposed to having to get the print printed and put a shipping label on it and all of that, so be it. Because sucking up my time putting on printing labels isn't efficient. It's not helping, and it's robbing me of time to make new concepts. And I would hope that if you are somebody into the work that I'm doing, you would want me to be working on new concepts and new shapes and new ideas as opposed to making 400 copies of my last idea. Someone else can do that, and I hope they make good money doing that. So that's my thoughts on my reproductions. But that has led me to what I am calling the Great Distribution. And I really started it seriously last fall. And I decided I wanted to give away a good amount of my work to people who I felt like got the concepts. And the first set was easy because I did the self realization series and I had some really wonderful comments. And I could tell certain people really understood the concept, and that's so special when you're making work with psychological content, when you're making work that's spiritual, when you're making work that's supposed to inspire people, and you find someone that it does. What's the point of wasting that?